How did one joke at my work gala end with papers handed to me in the bright lobby of my own office? Why did my husband stop arguing, start keeping calm records, and then make it public in the most polite way possible? My name is Perdita Hale, and I work as an event coordinator at a tech company in Toronto. People at work called me the fixer. They said I could make any room look perfect, even if the people inside it were not perfect. I liked that. I liked being the one who decided how things looked. My husband, Ethan Hale, did not understand that part of my life. He had a quiet job with screens and numbers. He came home tired, but still wanted to talk. He wanted simple things, like eating together and laughing. I used to think that was sweet. Later, I started to think it was heavy. I told myself I had big goals, and he had small needs. The work gala was my biggest night of the year. It was a hotel ballroom with lights, a stage, and a long line of sponsors. My boss, Nolan Price, cared about it more than he cared about most people. I wanted him to look at me like I was essential. That morning, my office felt loud and bright. People moved fast. My phone kept buzzing. Maya Caldwell, my best friend at work, came to my desk and leaned in close. She asked if Ethan was coming tonight. I said yes, but I said it like it was a burden. She smiled and said I always looked better alone. I laughed because it felt good to hear. Ethan texted me at the same time. He asked what time we should leave and if he should bring the car around early. I read his message and did not answer right away. I told myself it was because I was busy. The truth was I liked making him wait. It made me feel important. When I finally replied, I wrote that I was swamped and he should not add stress. Maya asked why Ethan still acted so attached. I said he was insecure. I said he needed to learn that my work mattered. I said a wife was not a babysitter for a grown man's feelings. I believed my own words because they protected me. Around lunch, I went to the printer room with my laptop. My calendar was open. There was a block that said, "Meeting personal." I kept it vague on purpose. It looked clean. It looked innocent. I heard footsteps behind me, and I clicked away fast. It was not Ethan. It was Graham Ellis, a vendor rep who was helping with lighting and sponsor displays. He had an easy smile and a warm voice. He asked if I slept at all. I said I barely slept because I cared too much. He said that was why I was different from everyone else. I felt my face get hot, and I liked it. He asked if I was excited for tonight. I said I was excited, but I added that my husband could be awkward in crowds. I said it like a warning, like I was protecting the room from him. Graham nodded and said he understood. He said some men hated strong women. I did not correct him. I let that story sit between us. After work, I went home and walked into the kitchen. The counters were clean. Ethan had already packed the kids' bags for the sitter. Lily's jacket was folded. Owen's little shoes were lined up. Ethan tried hard when he thought something mattered to me. He asked how my day went. I said it was chaos, and I said he would not understand it. He offered to help by checking the route to the hotel. I told him I had it handled. His face changed, just a little, like someone touched a bruise. He asked if I wanted him to stand next to me when we entered. I said we would see how it felt. I watched him accept that answer without fighting. Part of me wanted him to argue, because then I could call him controlling. When he stayed calm, I felt annoyed, like he stole my excuse. I noticed a folder on the counter with a simple label, Utilities. It looked new. I asked why it was there. Ethan said he was organizing bills and putting things in order. He said it was normal adult stuff. I rolled my eyes and told him he was acting like my father. He did not laugh. The kids ran through the kitchen, excited for the sitter. Lily asked if she could wear her sparkly headband tomorrow. Ethan said yes. I watched him kneel down to tie Owen's shoes, patient and careful. For 1 second, I felt a pinch in my chest. Then I told myself it was not my fault. I told myself Ethan chose to be too soft, and soft men got stepped on in the real world. In the bedroom, I got dressed. I chose a fitted black dress and a bright red lip, like armor. Ethan came in wearing a suit that actually looked good on him. He asked if he looked okay. I said he looked fine, but I did not sound kind. I wanted him to feel small because I felt powerful. On the drive, Ethan tried to talk about Lily's school project. I kept checking my phone. I had messages from Maya about seating and from Graham about a sponsor sign. Ethan asked who was texting so much. I said it was work, and I said he was being suspicious again. He went quiet. I took that silence as proof that he was sulking, not as proof that I was hurting him. At the hotel, the lobby smelled like perfume and polished stone. People were already gathering. I saw Nolan near the entrance, laughing with two executives. Cameras were out. The photographer was moving like a hunter. Ethan reached for my hand. I pulled mine back and adjusted my clutch instead. I told myself I did that because I needed to look professional. Really, I did it because I wanted to look available. We stepped into the reception area. Music played softly. Glasses clinked. Maya waved us over, already smiling wide. Graham stood nearby, talking to a sponsor, and his eyes flicked to me like we shared a secret. Nolan walked up and greeted me with a big handshake. He said the room looked amazing. He asked who I brought with me. My mouth moved before my heart did. I smiled brightly and said Ethan was my brother. I said it like it was clever. I said it like it was light. People laughed. Maya laughed the loudest. One executive said we had the same eyes. I laughed too, and looked at Ethan like he should play along. Ethan did not laugh. His face went pale, then tight. He asked, quietly, why I said that. I told him he was making a scene. I told him it was just easier at work. I told him he should relax and stop being dramatic. Graham stepped forward and shook Ethan's hand. He asked how long we had been siblings, like it was a joke. Maya touched my arm and said I was savage. I liked the word. It made me feel sharp. Ethan let go of Graham's hand quickly. He looked around at the faces, at the smiles, at me. He asked if I was ashamed of him. I tilted my head and acted confused. I said he was twisting things again. I said he always tried to turn my success into his pain. Then Ethan turned away from me and walked toward the edge of the crowd, alone, like he did not know where to place his hands. I watched him go and told myself he deserved it for being so sensitive. I told myself I was teaching him how my world worked. I told myself he would come back and apologize once he realized I was right. I stayed near the drinks table and acted like nothing happened. I smiled at people who looked confused. I kept my shoulders back. I told myself this was my night, not Ethan's feelings' night. Maya came close and asked where Ethan went. I said he needed air. I said he always did this thing where he got upset when attention was not on him. She rolled her eyes and said he sounded exhausting. I nodded like a tired hero. A few coworkers drifted over. One of them asked if Ethan was really my brother. I laughed and said it was a work joke. I said we had a silly sense of humor in my marriage. I did not say the word husband out loud. It felt safer to keep it blurry. Nolan came by again and asked if everything was okay. I said yes, and I made my voice soft like I was the reasonable one. I said Ethan had social anxiety. I said big events could be hard for him. Nolan frowned and said he hoped Ethan would not cause trouble. I told Nolan Ethan would be fine, but I let the idea hang there like smoke. I wanted Nolan to believe I was managing a difficult man. I tried to find Ethan in the crowd, but I only saw his suit moving far away near the hallway. He did not come back to stand beside me. That made me angry, because it made me look like I had pushed too far. I told myself he was doing it on purpose to punish me. Graham appeared near my shoulder and asked if I wanted to see the sponsor wall one more time. I said yes, because it gave me a reason to move. We walked past people who were laughing, and I felt their eyes on my dress, on my posture, on the space where my husband should have been. Graham asked if Ethan was always like that. I said Ethan could be jealous. I said he did not like my work friends. I said he tried to make me feel guilty for having a life. Graham's face tightened like he cared. He said I deserved someone who supported me. I let myself breathe in that sentence. It felt like a warm coat. When the speeches started, I stood with Maya and the others. I clapped at the right times. I smiled for photos. Maya lifted her phone and took a short video of the room. She said she would tag me. I said sure. I told myself it did not matter if Ethan was not beside me. People would focus on me anyway. After the gala ended, Maya and a few coworkers went to a rooftop bar nearby. I went with them because going home felt like walking into a courtroom. The night air was cold, but the heaters made it feel like summer on the terrace. The city lights looked sharp, music played, and everyone acted like the night was still new. Maya asked if Ethan had texted yet. I checked my phone and saw nothing. I said he was sulking. I said he liked to use silence as a weapon. Maya said that was emotional manipulation. I agreed fast because it made me sound like a victim, not a bully. Someone asked again why I called him my brother. I made a face like I had to explain a child. I said people at work could be weird about spouses. I said it was easier to keep things simple. I said Ethan should have understood that I was protecting my career. I watched their faces soften. I watched them accept my story. That feeling was like sugar. Maya posted a photo of us with the skyline behind us. She wrote something like Gala Queens. She tagged me. She also posted a short clip where Nolan laughed at my brother joke. I saw it and felt a rush of pride, then a small spike of fear. The clip made Ethan look small, like a confused man in a suit. I told myself he would get over it. On the ride home, I stared out the window and practiced what I would say. I planned to tell Ethan he embarrassed me by walking away. I planned to tell him his reaction proved he had issues. I planned to keep my voice calm so he would look crazy if he got upset. When I opened the front door, the house was quiet. The sitter had left. The kids were asleep. The hallway nightlight made the walls look pale. I walked into the kitchen and saw Ethan's keys on the counter. His mug was on one side, mine on the other. It looked like a line. Ethan stood near the sink, not drinking, not eating. He asked where I went after the gala. I said I went for a quick drink with coworkers because I had to smooth things over. He asked what I meant by smooth things over. I said he made things tense by leaving. He asked why I called him my brother. I said he was acting like I did it to hurt him, and that was not fair. He asked if I was ashamed of him. I said no, but I said it like he was silly for asking. I told him I had to manage my image. I told him he did not understand professional life. He said he understood respect. I said respect followed results, and I had results. Ethan asked if I wanted to be married to him. I laughed once, short and sharp, and asked why he was being dramatic. I said he was turning a small joke into a big crisis. He said it did not feel small to him. I told him his feelings were not facts. He went quiet and looked at the counter like he was counting something in his head. I noticed his phone was face down beside a small stack of papers. I could not see what they were. I saw a sticky note stuck to the edge of the stack. It only said, follow-up. I asked what that was. He said it was work. He did not look at me when he said it. His phone buzzed. The screen lit up for half a second. I saw no caller ID, and then it stopped. He did not pick it up. He just flipped the phone over again, like he did not want me to see. That made me feel hot with suspicion, even though I knew I was the one hiding things. I tried to pull him back into a fight. I said he was acting secretive now. I said he was doing this to punish me. He asked me to lower my voice because the kids were sleeping. I said he cared more about quiet than truth. He said he cared about the kids not hearing us. I told him he was making me feel unsafe in my own home with his coldness. He stared at me, tired, and asked how silence could be unsafe. I said it was emotional abuse when someone ignored you. He did not argue with that. He just nodded once, like he was filing it away. Then he walked past me and went upstairs. I followed, ready to keep talking, ready to win. But when I reached the landing, I heard a soft click from the guest room door. He closed it without slamming it. He did not shout, he did not threaten, he just chose a different room. I stood there for a moment, holding my phone like it could protect me. I told myself he was being cruel. I told myself he wanted me to beg. I promised myself I would not beg. I went into the bedroom alone and lay down fully dressed, staring at the ceiling, trying to make his quiet feel like my victory. The next week felt like walking on a thin floor. Everything looked normal, but I kept expecting a crack. Ethan did not talk much. He still did morning tasks. He still packed Lily's lunch and found Owen's missing toy. But he stopped trying to win me back. He stopped asking for kisses. He stopped checking my face for approval. That should have made me feel free. Instead, it made me feel like I lost control of the room. I told myself his silence was a strategy to punish me. I told myself he wanted me to feel guilty. I decided I would not give him that. At work, people were still laughing about the brother moment. Nolan joked in the hallway and asked if my brother would attend the next sponsor meeting too. I smiled and said Ethan had a busy schedule. I acted relaxed, but I watched the way people watched me. I could feel a new kind of interest. It was not admiration, it was curiosity. Maya leaned against my desk and said I should not worry. She said people forgot everything fast. She asked if Ethan was still sleeping in the guest room. I said yes, and I said he was being dramatic. Maya said men loved attention. She said he would come back once he missed me. I nodded because it was the answer I wanted. Graham texted me around midday. He asked if I had time to review the sponsor setup in a quiet place, away from office noise. I told him I had a tight schedule. He replied that he understood, but he added that he liked talking to me because I actually saw the big picture. I stared at that line longer than I should have. I told myself it was harmless. I told myself it was networking. I told myself Ethan did not own my conversations. I met Graham at a co-working cafe near the financial district. It was not romantic. It was a public place with laptops and low music. That made it feel safe, like I could claim it was professional if anyone asked. Graham asked how I was feeling after the gala. I said it was stressful because my husband made it weird. Graham asked what I meant. I said Ethan had trouble with my career. I said he liked me better when I was smaller. I said he got upset when I was confident. Graham asked if Ethan ever supported me. I said Ethan supported bills, not dreams. Graham nodded like that was a deep truth. He said I deserved praise. He said I worked harder than most people. I felt myself straighten. I felt seen. He asked if I was happy at home. I said I was tired. I said being a wife could be lonely. He asked if Ethan understood me. I said Ethan understood rules, not feelings. I liked the way that sounded, so I repeated it in my head. I did not say I was flirting. I did not say I wanted more. I just let the conversation float in that direction. When I left the cafe, I checked my calendar again. The block still said meeting, personal. I liked that it left no trail. I told myself being careful was the same as being innocent. That evening, I went to the supermarket on my way home. I thought I would grab a few things and walk in smiling, like the good wife. When I turned down the cereal aisle, I saw Ethan with the kids. Lily sat in the cart, swinging her legs. Owen held a box of crackers with both hands. Ethan looked focused, like he was doing a task with a clear start and end. He saw me and nodded once. He asked if I wanted to add anything to the list. I said I had it covered. Lily waved and asked if we could get ice cream. I said maybe. Ethan said we could get fruit pops instead. Lily frowned but accepted it. At the checkout, Ethan pulled out a card I did not recognize. He paid quietly. He took the receipt and folded it carefully. I tried to make a joke and asked if he opened a secret account to hide from me. He said he was just keeping things organized. I said he was being dramatic again. He did not react. He only asked if I was coming home soon because the kids needed baths. I said yes, but I said it like he was my manager. On the walk to the parking lot, Lily skipped between us and held both our hands for a moment. Ethan's hand felt steady. Mine felt tense. Lily looked up at me and asked why Dad slept in the other room. I smiled too fast and said Dad was just resting because he worked hard. Ethan did not correct me. That annoyed me more than an argument would have. At home, the kitchen felt split in half. My mug was on my side. His mug was on the other. The space between them was small, but it felt like a wall. I opened a cabinet and saw that folder again, now joined by others. Household. Bank. Taxes. The labels were plain and neat, like someone wanted no confusion later. I asked Ethan why he was making so many folders. He said he was sorting paperwork because it was overdue. I asked if he thought I could not handle the house. He said that was not what he meant. I said it sounded like he did not trust me. He said he trusted facts. That line hit me in a strange way. I did not like it. Facts were the one thing I could not talk my way around if someone wrote them down. Later, Ethan went to put the kids to bed. I stayed downstairs and scrolled my phone. I saw Graham's name and felt a small spark. I also felt a sharp fear that Ethan would see it. I turned my phone face down even though nobody was in the room. When Ethan came down, he asked if I would sit with him and talk. I said I was tired. He asked where I went during the day. I said I worked. He asked if the co-working cafe was work. My stomach tightened. I asked why he was tracking me. He said he was not tracking me, but he said I was not hard to figure out. I told him he was being paranoid. He said he was being careful. I laughed and asked if he was going to start spying on me now. He looked at me and said he did not want to spy. He said he wanted clarity. I told him he could get clarity by trusting his wife. He said trust needed honesty. I went quiet because I did not have a clean answer. So I made a different move. I said his questions made me feel controlled. I said it was toxic to interrogate your partner. I said I could not breathe under his suspicion. He did not raise his voice. He said he would not argue late at night. He asked me to be home for breakfast tomorrow because the kids liked routine. I said he was acting like a single dad already. He said he was acting like a parent. The next day, I left work late on purpose. I told myself it was to prove I was not trapped. I parked in the office garage and sat in my car for a minute, checking messages. When I pulled out, I noticed Ethan's car across the lane. That was strange, because he should have been home. His headlights were off. He did not wave. He was just there, like he happened to be passing by. I drove past him, trying to look calm. As I turned, I saw a small light on his dash, a tiny blink that looked like a camera. My skin went cold. At home, I asked why he was near my office. He said he went to pick up a package at a nearby store. I asked what package. He said it was household storage supplies. I wanted to accuse him of stalking me, but I could feel how weak that would sound without proof. I hated that feeling, because I usually controlled the story. That night, I walked past the guest room and heard a soft hum, like a shredder or a small machine. Then it stopped. I stood still, listening. Nothing else happened. I went back to my room and lay down. I told myself Ethan was being strange. I told myself he was the one hiding things now. But in the dark, my mind kept replaying the little dash light in the garage, blinking like a calm eye that did not need my permission. Sunday dinner was at a family restaurant with a long table and too many glasses. Ethan's parents were there, and my mother and my sister Brooke came too. The kids sat between us like little bridges that could not hold weight. I dressed carefully, like the night was still a performance. I told myself family dinners were also public. People remembered who smiled and who looked tense. I planned to look easy and bright, even if Ethan looked cold. I wanted that contrast. Ethan arrived with the kids first. He had Owen's coat on his arm and Lily's hair tied back neatly. He asked if I could keep my jokes light tonight. I said I was always light, and I said he was the one who carried things like stones. At the table, Ethan's mother, Donna, asked me about work. I said the gala went well because I handled everything. I made sure to mention my boss and the sponsors. I watched Donna's face as I spoke, looking for approval. She listened, but her eyes kept sliding toward Ethan, like she was checking if he was okay. My mother, Diane, leaned in and told me I looked strong. She said strength was rare in marriage. She said some men wanted to dim women. She did not say Ethan's name, but the meaning was loud. Brooke asked how the kids were doing. Lily said school was fine. Then she looked down and pushed her food around. Ethan touched her shoulder softly. I saw it and felt annoyed, like he was trying to look like the good parent in front of everyone. The topic drifted to the gala because it always did. Someone mentioned the photo online. My mother laughed and said my brother looked shocked. She thought it was funny. Maya had shown her the clip, which made me feel both proud and exposed. I smiled and told the table it was a harmless work joke. I said Ethan took everything personally. I said he did not understand the social side of my job. I acted like I was explaining a weather problem. Ethan's father, Mark, asked why I called Ethan my brother if he was my husband. His voice stayed calm. I could tell he was trying not to make a scene. That almost made it worse, because calm people made you sound unreasonable if you pushed too hard. I said it was easier that way. I said people at work judge spouses, and I could not let my image slip. I said Ethan should have supported my career, instead of making it about his feelings. I turned it into a lesson, like I was teaching everyone maturity. Donna looked at me and asked if respect mattered to me. I said respect mattered, but I said respect should be earned. I said I earned mine every day. Ethan's hand tightened around his fork for a second. He did not speak. I took his silence as permission. Brooke looked uncomfortable. She asked if Ethan was sleeping in the guest room. I said yes and shrugged. I said he liked attention, and he was trying to punish me. I said it in a casual tone, like it was obvious. Ethan finally said he did not want to discuss our private life at a restaurant. He asked me to stop. I said he was trying to control what I could say. I said I was not a child. I watched my mother nod, and I felt stronger. Donna said she would not watch her son be mocked in public. I smiled and said nobody was mocking him. I said Donna was too sensitive. Then I said the same thing I always said, that Ethan could not handle my world. Ethan stood up to take Owen to the bathroom. The movement made everyone go quiet for a moment. I used that silence to talk. I said Ethan always did that, leaving at the worst time. I made it sound like a pattern of disrespect. My mother agreed. Brooke stared at her plate. When Ethan came back, he did not argue. He sat down and focused on the kids. He cut Owen's food. He asked Lily about her teacher. Lily said her stomach hurt. Ethan asked if she needed water. She nodded. I watched him care for them and felt a twist in my chest. I still think I was right then, but my body did not fully agree. I pushed the feeling away. I told myself he was using the kids to make me look bad. After dinner, Ethan carried Owen to the car because Owen fell asleep. Lily walked beside us, quiet. Ethan asked if I could please stop using that brother story as entertainment. I said he should stop acting like a victim. I said he was lucky I even brought him to my events at all. In the driveway at home, Ethan told me he wanted structure. He said he wanted a calm schedule for mornings and bedtime. He said the kids needed routine. I laughed and asked if he was going to run the house like a business now. He did not react. He only opened the door and carried Owen inside. In the stairwell, I saw a small sticky note on the side table. It said, "Bring forms." The handwriting was neat, like Ethan's. I asked what forms. He said school forms. He walked past me without stopping, like he had a destination. In the kitchen, the air smelled faintly like toner, the way it did when paper came out of a printer. The printer tray was open. A blank page sat there, fresh and warm. I asked what he printed. He said it misfired. He said he was just trying to scan old records. He slid the blank paper into the recycling with a careful motion. I wanted to dig, but I did not want to look like I was worried, so I made it about him again. I said he was being secretive to punish me. I said he was making the house tense on purpose. He asked me to lower my voice because the kids could hear. I said he always blamed me for noise when he created the tension. The next day at work, I got an email from HR asking for a quick meeting. The subject line was neutral, but my stomach tightened anyway. I told Maya, and she said HR only did that when someone complained. I said Ethan probably emailed them because he could not handle being embarrassed. Maya said that sounded like him. In the HR conference room, 2 people sat across from me with calm faces. They asked about the gala and the brother introduction. They asked if everything was okay at home. I made my eyes wide, like I was surprised anyone would even ask. I said Ethan had a hard time with big events. I said he got anxious and sometimes acted unpredictable when he felt judged. I did not say he was dangerous. I did not need to. I let the shape of the idea sit in the room. They asked if Ethan had contacted anyone at the company. I said I did not know. I said I hoped he would not, because I wanted to keep things professional. I framed myself as the protector of peace. When I left HR, I felt powerful for a moment. Then I saw Ethan's name on my phone screen. He had sent a short message asking if the kids could stay with his parents on Saturday. That request felt like a door closing. That night at home, Ethan asked why HR might think he was a problem. He asked if I talked about him at work. I said I did not. Then I said HR was dramatic and always overreacted. He asked again, calmly, if I hinted that he was unsafe. I said he was twisting things. I said he loved to paint me as the bad guy. He nodded once, like he heard me but did not accept it. He opened his laptop on the kitchen table, and I saw a spreadsheet with dates and times before he angled the screen away. I caught 2 words near the top, just a clean file tree, Archive A and Archive B. Then he closed the laptop softly, and the quiet felt heavier than any argument. By the middle of that week, the house felt like 2 small countries sharing one roof. Ethan moved through rooms without asking for my permission. I moved through my day like I owned the air. We passed each other, and neither of us reached out. I told myself his calm was fake. I told myself he was waiting for a moment to make me look bad. That thought helped me stay angry instead of scared. On Tuesday morning, I went to the gym before work. I did not tell Ethan. I said I had an early meeting. He asked where the meeting was. I said it was off-site. He nodded like he believed me, but his eyes did not soften. At the gym lobby, I saw Graham near the smoothie counter. It looked like an accident, but it also looked like a plan. He asked if I was okay. I said I was tired. He asked if my husband was still being difficult. I said Ethan was making the house tense by staying quiet. Graham said silence could be a weapon. I agreed fast, because it sounded like a reason for my choices. Graham asked if I wanted to sit in his car for a minute to talk without noise. I said no, because the parking lot cameras made me feel exposed. I told him we could talk later. He smiled and said he understood. Then he said, I deserved someone who did not make me feel guilty. I carried that line with me like a prize. At work, I kept my voice bright. I answered emails fast. I walked through the office like nothing in my personal life mattered. Maya asked if HR talked to me again. I said no. I said Ethan was trying to make problems for me, but I was handling it. Maya said Ethan sounded petty. I said he was. I liked the way it sounded, because it made me the main character and him the side issue. That afternoon, I checked the shared tablet at home while the kids watched cartoons. A notification popped up from the cloud sync. It said, "File uploaded successfully." I clicked it, but it disappeared. I tried to search, but there was nothing obvious. I told myself Ethan was hiding things. I told myself that proved he was guilty of something, even if I did not know what. When Ethan came into the living room, he asked if Lily ate her snack. I said yes. He asked if Owen had his nap. I said no, because he did not want it. Ethan did not argue. He just picked Owen up and carried him to the couch, calm and patient. I watched him and felt annoyed. His kindness made my anger look loud. I needed him to act worse so my behavior could look normal. On Friday, I showed up late to the school pickup line. I did it on purpose. I wanted Ethan to feel the stress of waiting. I wanted him to snap. I wanted a moment I could use later. Ethan was already there, standing near the fence. Lily sat on a bench with her backpack. When she saw me, she ran over, then slowed down, like she was not sure who to choose first. That hesitation hit me like a slap. Lily asked why Dad did not come inside with me anymore. She asked why he stayed in the other room. Ethan looked at the ground, like he was letting me answer. I forced a smile and said Dad was busy. I said he was tired. I said it was not a big deal. Lily looked at Ethan and asked if he was mad at me. Ethan crouched down and said it was not her fault. He said adults sometimes needed quiet to think. He said he loved her the same. Lily nodded, but her face stayed worried. On the drive home, Ethan asked why I was late. I said traffic was bad. He said he left early and traffic was fine. I said he was trying to trap me in details. I said it was controlling to fact-check your wife. He did not raise his voice. He just said he liked clear answers. At home, the kitchen smelled like dish soap and something else, faint and sharp, like toner again. The printer sat on the counter with the tray closed. I saw a thin line of paper dust near it, like it had been used recently. Ethan poured water for the kids and set 2 cups on the table. He did not set a cup for me. That small thing made me feel invisible, and I hated it. I tried to start a fight the way I always did. I asked why he acted like I was not there. He said he was focused on the kids. I asked if he was punishing me. He said he was choosing peace. I told him he was being cold. I told him coldness was a kind of cruelty. He asked what I wanted him to do, after the way I treated him at the gala, and after the way I talked about him at work. I said I did not talk about him at work. He asked if HR would agree with me. I said HR made everything bigger than it was. Ethan asked if I was seeing someone. I laughed and asked if he wanted to accuse me of something without proof. He said he did not want drama. He said he wanted honesty. I said honesty was not the same as answering every suspicious question. He said trust was not the same as ignoring obvious patterns. He asked where I went on Tuesday morning. I said the gym. He asked why I told him it was a meeting. I said I forgot what I said. I said he was keeping score like a judge. He said he was keeping track because the kids needed stability. That word again, stability, made me angry. It sounded like he was building a case about parenting, not just marriage. I told myself he was trying to threaten me. I told myself he could not do that without looking like the villain. I said he was acting like a single dad already. I said he wanted to take the kids away from me. He said he was not taking anyone away. He said he wanted a routine that did not depend on my moods. I felt my control slipping, so I switched tactics. I softened my voice and said he was hurting me with his distance. I said I felt alone in my own home. I said a good husband would fight for his wife. I waited for him to react. He did not. He only asked me to stop turning everything into a test. He asked me to stop making him prove love by suffering. That line landed too close to the truth, and it made my face burn. I told him he was being dramatic. I told him he was trying to look noble while punishing me quietly. He asked if I wanted to fix things or just win. I said I wanted respect. He said respect could not grow in a room full of lies. The kids came into the kitchen, drawn by our voices. Ethan lowered his tone right away. He asked Lily to go wash her hands. He asked Owen to pick a bedtime book. He moved like a man who refused to let the kids become tools. After bedtime, Ethan stood in the doorway of the kitchen. His face looked tired, but it also looked steady. He asked if we could keep our talks to daytime and keep the house calm at night. I said he was trying to control me again. He said it was not control. He said it was care. I told him I would not be treated like a problem. He nodded once, like he accepted that I would keep saying it. Then he said he was done arguing, and he would handle it properly. I went to work the next morning, like I could still steer the day. I put on a blazer and a calm face. I told myself Ethan's properly line was just theatre. I told myself he wanted to scare me back into obedience. In the office tower lobby, the air smelled like coffee and floor polish. Security guards stood by the desk like they always did. 2 coworkers from marketing waited near the elevators and talked about weekend plans. I walked in and tried to look normal, like my life was not cracking. A man in a plain coat stepped toward me. He asked if I was Perdita Hale. I said yes and asked what this was about. He said he had documents for me and needed to confirm my identity. I said I did not take papers from strangers. He said he was a process server, and this was legal service. I looked around fast, hoping no one was watching. Of course they were. The security guard glanced over. My coworkers went quiet. The man held out an envelope and said I could accept it now, or he could note that I refused. His voice was polite, almost bored. I took it because refusing would look childish. My hands shook, and I hated that. I asked where Ethan was. The server said Ethan did not need to be present. He said his job was only to serve. I said this was humiliating. He said he understood, but the service was still valid. I sat on a lobby bench and opened the envelope with careful fingers. The first page had my name and Ethan's name. I saw the words for divorce and my stomach dropped even though I told myself I expected it. I flipped again and saw temporary orders. I did not like that word, orders, because it sounded like someone else controlled my life now. I read fast. It talked about the home, the kids, and money. It said we could not drain accounts or sell things without rules. It set a temporary parenting schedule, with times and a neutral exchange location. It was calm on paper, but it felt like a door slamming. I tried to breathe and call Ethan. He answered after a few rings. I said he could not do this to me in public. He asked me to lower my voice and said he was at work. I said he wanted to ruin me. He said he did not want to ruin anyone. He said he wanted structure. I told him he was acting cold and cruel. He said he was following a process and keeping it lawful. He said we would only talk about the kids and logistics, and we would do it in writing. I asked if he was going to block me. He said he would not block me, but he would not argue anymore. I said he never even tried to fix us. He said he tried for months, and I used it against him. He said he would not speak about my choices on the phone. I asked what he meant. He said he had records, and he said the records were not for gossip. He said they were for the proper place. That word again, proper. My face went hot. I asked if he told people at my job. He said he did not contact my job. He said I created my own audience. Then he said he needed to go. I walked upstairs like I was carrying something heavy in my hands. Maya saw my face and asked what happened. I told her Ethan was attacking me. I said he was trying to take the kids. I said he was punishing me because he could not handle my career. Maya said we should post about it and expose him. I said yes at first, then I looked at the papers again and felt fear slide in. Papers did not care about posts. I called my mother. She said I should fight back and not look weak. She asked what Ethan had on me. I said nothing, because admitting anything would make it real. She said men always planned, and women should plan too. Her voice sounded angry, but it did not sound helpful. I called Brooke next. She listened. Quiet. She asked if I was honest with myself about what happened. I said she was taking his side. She did not answer that. She only said the kids needed peace. By afternoon, I could not sit still. I went to the courthouse because my mind said I could explain and charm my way through it. I told myself I could talk to someone and make it fair. I told myself the system would see my pain and choose me. In the courthouse lobby, I saw Ethan near a wall, holding a plain folder. He wore a clean shirt. He looked like a man who slept and ate. That hurt more than if he looked broken. I walked up fast and asked why he was doing this. He asked me to step back and keep my voice low. He said we could not discuss it there. I said he was hiding behind the law. He said he was using the law because it was the cleanest way to stop the chaos. A clerk called our names. Ethan walked forward with steady steps. I followed, trying to keep my chin up. The clerk looked at the file, looked at us, and said the temporary orders were active today. She confirmed the first exchange time and the location, and she said the financial restraints were effective immediately. I opened my mouth to argue, but the clerk was already looking past me, and Ethan was already turning away with the folder still tucked under